You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll free 1 866 928 3310 and we'll send you out a no obligation information kit absolutely free. 866 928 3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestseller, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, 19th day of June, 2017. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. Late start, bumpy start. It's Monday. All right, we're going to do the cash markets. We're going to start with the Dow. By the way, if you can't see the chart I have up, S&P 500 Emini Futures, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered through the end of the month. That means every day you can join with one-click access, or you can go to youtube.com/CFRN, see the charts there, and access the chat box. All right, the Dow's up 116 points. It's a little over half of 1%. NASDAQ, here's the big one, up 70 points. That's well over 1%. S&P 500 is up 17 points. That's over half of 1%. And the Russell 2000 is up 6 points, which is almost half of 1%. In the commodity basket, we've got gold down $7.20, trading $12.49.20, and crude oil down 20 cents, trading $44.54. In the European markets, green also the color of the day. The FTSE's up 60 points. That's how they closed, almost 1%. DAX closed up 136 points. That's over 1%. And the CAC closed up 47 points. That's almost 1%. Last but not least, the Asian markets, the color of the day, green continues. Nikkei closed up 125. Shanghai closed up 22. And the Hang Seng closed up 298. All of those are pretty big moves. The Hang Seng, that's over 1%. Shanghai, over half of 1%. And the Nikkei also over half of 1%. So the color of the day for stock markets around the world is green. And for commodities, not so much. Wheat and copper are about the only commodities in the green. Silver, gold, natural gas, oil, all in the red. We're going to go to Michael and get a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. It was a Monday. It was a Monday. So if you're ready, Michael, go ahead
and indeed.
Grab them.
All right, I got it. Coming over this way. Here we go.
Okay, I will be here when you get back.
Okay, buddy. I will be in touch with you in just a few minutes then. All right. So here we go, everyone. Today is Monday. Capital M O N D A Y. The 19th day of June 2017. Let's start out with this. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage here at CFRN.net. And right up here at the very top, it says sign up for a new live training room, or CFRN live training room. 100% free. Use our indicators and learn our strategy. You click there, then fill out this little form. Now look at this beautiful landing page. Isn't that nice? See that? We got a video going down there at the bottom. Beautiful. Anyway, you fill in these two little slots, and that's all you need to do. Okay, once you do that, then you'll be sent a confirmation link. You gotta click the confirmation link. Okay, then excuse me, at that point we know you took the free trial, and we will be in touch with you, giving you all the information you need to download the indicators and to set up your workspace and to get into the room for the free trial. All right. Recap. If you're going to look at this, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. We had a really slow day this morning. Really slow day. We only had 5 opportunities, and I'm pretty sure I didn't miss any. I might have missed 1 or 2. We'll see when I go through it, but it was really slow today. I forgot to add 1 for gold. We still didn't get the gold for the day. But let me just check that to make sure. Okay. Alright. We had 1 tick on the euro, 4 ticks on the YM, and 1 tick on gold. Total of 36.25 on the morning. 5 trade opportunities, and that's what we took. So we did not get the goal for the day, but we did end up positive. That is a yellow day. All right. Gross on a month, 1430. That's over 13 days, averaging 110 per day. On the year now, 17,565. That's over 114 trading days, averaging 154 per day. Okay, those are gross numbers. All right. Next, let's do this. Okay, this was the gold. And you can see right here, the gold had like next to nothing all morning. We got 1 tick here. And the rest of it, just nothing all morning. It was just a mess, a total mess. In the pre-market, we had some movement. We had some nice movement in here in the pre-market. Okay, there was a trade right there at 5 o'clock. There was a trade right here, a shorting opportunity right there. And then the markets opened up and things just went sideways. The euro, quite a lot of the same stuff. See, the pre-market had some nice movement in here. And then the markets opened up and it went sideways from 9:30 to 10:30. And down here we had one tick profit on this one and a break even on this one. And then nothing during the break right here. Okay, we're trading below the BBC. We were trading below the BBC with bullish divergence that suggests a big move down, which sort of happened, and we broke dynamic support. And now we have bearish divergence, so it should give up some more shorting opportunities. Crude oil, the markets opened up right in here. We had one break even, and over here was 1 hour into it. From there to there was 1 hour. Then right here there was no trade because it would have been going up into dynamic resistance from a momentum trade. And then the cycle just tanked and everything fell. Okay. There's one break. We had just this one opportunity right here that we took. We got 4 ticks profit on. There were some more opportunities in here. I guess I did miss a couple. Well, it depends what the ES was doing. If the ES was going into a zone, then none of these were good. But it started out really messy, and then it had a leg up, and we got a little bit right there. And then it came over here and gave it down, closed right there, but it was momentum short, so there was nothing we could do. Then we got all sideways. Then right here we had a long opportunity, and that was it. All right, on the ES. The ES, I know I missed something on the ES here this morning, right in here. But I don't have an ES DOM open, so I couldn't do anything with the ES if I wanted to. But we had, this is what we had. We had a bounce off the BBC, right there. That leg up. And there was a momentum trade here, but it was too close to get into that. Then it chopped sideways until 10:30. Then it gave a short into the zone, which we couldn't do. And now it's trying to pull back and give some more opportunity. But we had bearish divergence, so we're trading above the BBC. That suggests we're going to get a big move up, not a big move down. Okay. And we did look at some of the other markets. Natural gas really had nothing this morning. So this is 9:30 to now. It was just junk. The NQ had some movement in the pre-market. Hang on. Sorry, I had to sneeze. The NQ had some movement in the pre-market. Let me go find that one for you. Here it is. Oh, I guess it wasn't so much in the pre-market. Right here in the first hour, we had a nice move up and a nice move down. And right here, there was some pretty good movement on the NQ. This was the stuff I thought it was pre-market, but it was actually when the markets opened up. We had some right here, but then the cycle got messed up. Okay, this was the pre-market stuff that I was talking about. Okay, so the NQ was moving today. Not so much when we were trying to do stuff with it, but if any of them had any volatility, it would have been the NQ today. And we weren't looking at that one too much. All right, so that is all that. Now, if you're going to read this spreadsheet, you got to read the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. All right, today is the 19th day of June. Today, 1 tick on the euro, 4 ticks on the YM, 1 tick on gold, $36. Did not get the goal for the day, and we did 5. On the month now, 1430 gross, that's over 13 days, averaging 110. On the year, 17,565, that's over 114 days, averaging 154 a day. Okay. In here. if you have not taken the free trial, go to the homepage here at CFRN.net and hit the click here button at the top. Just hit that click here button at the top, okay? Once you do that, you'll be taken to this page here, this fantastic looking page that Dwayne and I put together. And fill in these 2 little spots, hit register now, and then you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on that confirmation link. Okay. If you don't click the confirmation link, you will not get the free trial. All right? Better make sure you hit that. And that's it. That's all I got, guys. All right. So with that, I am going to wrap up my recap and send things back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A in Phoenix, Arizona. See, I got that right. Nation's largest city park.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I got it right twice. Twice. In one day. And it's Monday. But, yeah, I was going to say, sadly, you still have to pull it because I can't see your picture.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. You were mentioning the NASDAQ and how much it ran up. I'll just give you an idea on a 30-minute chart. Our alert last night was to consider buying 57.05. And as it will do, price came back. It tried to get below the trigger a second time, but it didn't before it made the big run. And that's 69 points at $20 per point. That's a $1,400 move in the NQ on a Sunday night, Monday morning kind of a thing. It made the biggest jump came from 9:30 to 10:30 right here. Although it actually started the move. There's London. Move was already underway by the time London opens, so. NQ. Now, okay, so I won't bother you with the recap of the recap. I know it was a yellow day.
Yellow day, yep. Gave it our best. We missed a couple on the YM this morning. I think that would have been the difference maker. And that's because we were in the Crude at the time, I think, and that Crude took forever to do anything. It is what it is.
It is indeed. Okay, all right, guys. The big headline today, I think, I don't know what somebody will coin a phrase for it if they haven't already. Reverse terrorism, perhaps. I'm sure you've all heard in London last night a man driving a white van mounted a pavement and hit a group of worshippers exiting the mosque just after midnight. The attack has killed 1 man, injured 10 others. A 48-year-old man has been arrested. A 48-year-old white man, I might add. The police confirmed that they were not looking for anyone else in connection with the attack. This man was not known to the authorities in the space of extremism or far-right extremism, and he clearly took advantage of a simple weapon, a vehicle to make an attack on people going about their business. The Muslim Council of Britain said a van intentionally ran over worshippers, as many of the victims are believed to have just left evening prayers at the Muslim Welfare House after breaking the Ramadan fast. The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, said in a statement, "My thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected. I'm grateful to our emergency services who responded quickly and have been working on the scene throughout the night." So, you know, guys, I gotta say that, you know, there's been so much activity on the side of the far left, which I'm assuming is where you would put terrorist, extremist. But the far right, they're extreme, but they, you know, we haven't seen this kind of activity before. And, you know, let's just pray that it's a one-time lone wolf deal. And the fact that they're calling it a terrorist attack, I mean, how do they know that? There's no history on the man, no ties to any kind of a group, so I think they might be jumping the gun by putting that label on it. And I think putting that label on it could only stir up, dissent. I don't see any reason if it's not obvious. Can somebody put a check or an X or a Y or something in the chat box? I need to see if it's working before Michael gets gone. Did you have any questions, Michael, in the chat box?
No, there were no questions in the box.
No questions as of yet.
All
right, somebody give me a Y. All right, got it. Thank you very much, Robert. How are you? Did you get Robert added to the proper mail list?
No, I was just sending you an email about it. Did the password change? Because it's not letting me in.
I don't know. Because mine automatically logs in.
Yeah. Well, log in and let me know, because the one that we had is not working.
Okay.
I'm talking about the chip.
Yeah. Well, I just sent you the only other one I can think of that it might be, so try that.
Okay. I will take a look at it in a minute, and I'm going to add them into the members area now, too.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll get that
Very
done.
good. All right, guys, happening out there in the big wide world of other news headlines. We heard earlier in the year, or maybe it was the end of last year, about Amazon's plan to open these small grocery stores that would have no cashiers. You would swipe something, or it would read your palm or your forehead, or whatever the case might be, and it would just open the doors, welcome you, perhaps call you by name, I don't know. And we showed the videos of you take things off the shelf and it automatically adds them to your tally, charges them to your Amazon account. Anyway, we heard all about and saw video about how that would work, and then we heard nothing about it. And then out of the blue, Amazon bought Whole Foods for $13.7 billion last week, which we talked about. Kind of makes sense that they could come into all of the Whole Foods stores and retrofit them to use this new technology rather than having to build a store from the ground up. That's what I'm thinking. Millions of people love Whole Foods Market because they offer the best natural and organic foods, and they make it fun to eat healthy. That's about all Jeff Bezos had to say in the most recent press release. But I think we'll hear more, because the second headline says Amazon is planning to cut jobs at Whole Foods when it takes over the company, according to Bloomberg. The exact number of jobs on the line is unclear. Think they might be cutting the cashiers? Could be. Google has promised to do more to suppress terrorism-related videos. Now, I understand that these things are all over the internet. I have never watched one. I've just never had the desire to seek one out and look at it. But I hear there's some pretty brutal, pretty ugly stuff out there. And if there's anything at all that Google can do to suppress it or get rid of it, like a keystroke, I think they should. The problem is the proliferation of it. It's like whack-a-mole. You take 10 down and 25 pop up. So Reddit, which I have mentioned to you. It's probably the biggest website you'd never heard of. Reddit, Reddit, as in I read it on the internet. Some people refer to it as the front page of the internet. If you go there, you'll quickly get lost because there are so many groups and subgroups and conversations and discussions and forums and whatnot going on that it's a maze. I've been there, and I guess it's above my pay grade. Anyhow, Reddit is looking for more funding, and it's aiming for a $1.7 billion valuation, according to Bloomberg. No doubt they'll get it. And then I'll be able to say I read it on the internet. U.S. government has filed a lawsuit asking to take ownership of 2.5 million shares of preferred Palantir stock. They were allegedly caught up in Malaysia's massive 1MDB scandal. I'm assuming, well, I guess you shouldn't assume anything on the internet. MDB probably has to do with their currency, I guess. U.S. government has filed a lawsuit to take ownership of 2.5 million shares of Palantir stock. Thursday, the U.S. Department of Justice, let's see, Fuad said it's the biggest civil asset suit the Department of Justice has ever handled. Fuad, 1 MDB, what does that break down to in American dollars? The money was allegedly used to purchase luxury real estate in the United States and overseas, pay gambling expenses at Las Vegas casinos, acquire more than $200 million in artwork, purchase lavish gifts for family members and associates, invest in a major real estate development project, and fund the production of major Hollywood films. On Thursday, the Justice Department released a list of specific items it's asking the court to turn over to the government, which includes 2.5 million shares of Palantir originally purchased for $2 million. In case you don't know, Palantir is a high-profile Valley startup valued at more than $20 billion. Makes software used by companies and governments to sift through massive amounts of data. It was co-founded by billionaire tech venture capitalist Peter Thiel and others, and is still a private company, meaning the stock is not openly available on the market. No IPO as of yet. Most of the assets the government is seeking to nab in the lawsuit sound like the catalog of a billionaire's life. A yacht, interest in a hotel chain, movie rights, including interest in Dumb and Dumber, Daddy's Home, and The Wolf of Wall Street, a poster created by the German artist Heinz Schulz-Nudem for the 1927 silent film Metropolis, real estate apartments and mansions in New York, LA, and Beverly Hills, enormous diamonds, Picasso, and last but not least, a Monet that was allegedly bought as a birthday present for Wolf of Wall Street star Leo DiCaprio. Man, that is quite a list, I must say. This was set up by the Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak in 2009 to promote economic development. However, U.S. authorities are alleging that between 2009 and 14, billions of dollars were stolen from the fund by multiple people, and they used it to buy all sorts of things like the stuff I just mentioned. Fuad said the 36-year-old used Malaysia's sovereign wealth fund as his own personal account. And he says we should Google JHO Lowe and Paris Hilton. Oh my. So she's in this. Okay. A Google-backed warehouse farm raised $20 million to build in cities across the U.S. Unlike traditional outdoor farms, Bowery Farm grows greens under LEDs which mimic natural sunlight inside a giant warehouse in New Jersey. JHO, that's the first name. I don't know how you pronounce that. Last name Low, L-O-W, is the swindler's name. Thanks, Fuad. So Google is going into the farming business indoors. Atari has confirmed it's working on a new games console. The CEO told GamesBeat that the company is indeed working on a new machine. Now, a lot of us grew up with Atari, but don't hear the name much anymore. Apple has poached the team behind Breaking Bad. Surprisingly, one of the most popular shows ever on television. My wife and I watched, I think, the first season and a half, and it was just so dark that we chose, not to watch it. Mobike, a Chinese bike-sharing startup, has raised $600 million. Mobike raised the latest round from Chinese internet giant Tencent and renowned Silicon Valley tech investment firm Sequoia Capital, as well as a number of other investors. And to wrap it up, traders betting against Snap have made a killing since the IPO. The short sellers. Data compiled by... Now, remember, short selling, it's not illegal as long as you play by the rules. There's a 3-day to cover rule. If you sell a stock short and you don't own it, you have 3 days by law to borrow the shares to cover the short. Now, naked short selling is when you're in cahoots with a broker that doesn't enforce the 3-day rule. And back in the heyday, SEC and DTC had a habit of looking the other way, and that's illegal. Just, if you short and follow the rules, that's your choice. Data compiled by financial analytics firm S3 Partners suggests that short sellers, since the IPO of Snap, which is the parent company of Snapchat, have made around $195 million. Now, why they chose to attack Snap, I don't know. That hasn't been leaked. The reason they attacked Patrick Byrne of Overstock is because he took his company public via Dutch auction, which made the shares available to the common man during the IPO, not just the moneyed Wall Street firms like Goldman Sachs and their clients. We'll look under the hood and see if it tells us if there's any why behind. Short interest in Snap now sits at 1.13 billion, making it the third most shorted stock in the application sector. With investors dubious of the viability of the business model, slow user growth coupled with competition from established application providers Google, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, Snap shares have been under pressure. However, as short sellers continue to pad their wallets betting against stock, it's getting more expensive to do so. It costs $1.2 million a day to finance the entire $1.13 billion Snap short position. The profits that Snap short sellers were able to make in the last 3 weeks makes paying $1.2 million in daily finances more palatable. Short sellers will probably hold onto their positions in hopes of a short side windfall in Snap's lockup expiration dates. Now, he's referring to the 150-day lockup period that expires on July 30th. That's the day that Snap executives and company insiders will be able to sell their shares. The bearish sentiment surrounding Snap stock has been mirrored across Wall Street. Many of the banks that underwrote the company's IPO have become bearish on the stock. JP Morgan, perhaps the most notable, as it has been downbeat on the stock since its launch. Well. I'm not a user of the app. I own no stock in the company, and so I sit on the sidelines and watch. Let's go to our good word for the day. Spending time alone with God. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." How often do we forget that? Now, God can speak to us anytime, anywhere, through anybody, by simply dropping a thought into our mind. You could read about that in 1 Corinthians 2:16. But because that thought can be crowded out by the busyness of life, he reminds us, be still and know that I am God. It's in stillness that you can hear God more clearly. Jesus used many illustrations to teach the people as much as they could understand, but afterward, when he was alone with his disciples, he explained everything to them. That's Mark 4:33 and 34. But alone with God, that's the key. In High Call, High Privilege, Gail McDonald writes, "Today there's a strange logic that spiritual resources and renewal are found in constantly seeking new voices, attending more meetings to exchange half-thought-out opinions. We fall into the trap of believing God is most pleased when we've maximized our information, our schedules, and our relationships. Disengagement means silence before God. A time of heavenly discussion during which we listen more than we speak. And silence demands solitude. In waiting quietly before God, your spiritual ear is trained to know his voice. You've heard me say it many times on this show. If you've got 10 minutes to pray, to be focused, you can pray without ceasing, as Paul suggested, but if you specifically have 10 minutes, and that's all that you can set aside for prayer at any given time, spend a minute talking to God, and then spend the other 9 minutes listening to God. Be still and listen, because what he's got to say is probably pretty important, because he is God. He created you and everything around you. Sylvia Guntner writes, "I understand why David has to command his soul to be still, because being quiet is difficult, almost impossible for some of us. But I've discovered that my soul and my spirit have been starving for stillness for a long time. And now that I've given my soul a taste of stillness, it will not be satisfied until it's a regular part of my day." So think about that as we hurry and scurry with the busyness of life and all of the things, and we can be doing, all good things, all positive things. We can be working, taking care of the children, running errands, all of the things that we're quote unquote supposed to be doing. And, well, before you know it, we have no time for God. And that's really the heart of it all. We come from God, we're on our way back to God, and so we really need to listen to His voice when and while we can. Because that's our guiding light. So will you do that today? Will you take some time and just be still and see what He has to say? You might be surprised. Okay, let us take a look at these charts. We'll move through them pretty quickly. I think John's going to call in. We'll see here in just a minute. Now the yellow arrow, that represents last night's Globex Open. 30-minute candles. So I got the alerts out about 6:55 Eastern. So I put the candle at, or the line at 1900, which is 7 o'clock. And the idea was to be a buyer at 24.37, which triggered early on and then just went sideways for quite a number of hours. No big pullback. Then our first run up from 37 put us above 40. So we had a 3.25 point move up, and then we came back to the trigger, and then we ran up 13 points at $50 per point. Now that's not a bad move for the S&P, I must say. And it puts us on a Monday pretty close to our highest weekly trading zone. Now that's important only because something that we have discovered through historical observance is anytime we hit the highest weekly trading zone by a Tuesday morning, there's a high probability that we've found a top in the market. And Mike will often, in the live training room, have a look at the options, and we'll look for something that complements the market heading in the opposite direction for the remainder of the week. So just keep an eye on that. Okay. Moving over to the Dow. Oh, I never gave you a chance to grab a screenshot. Let me do that. There you go. If you're using the GoTo app and the little camera looking icon on top, click it and it saves a image to your desktop. Okay, on the Dow, consider buying 21,370. We made an initial little jump up to 84, got back below the trigger, another little run, and then a final, important prices, important areas. It finally got underway and ran up 56 points at $5 per point. Now, it ultimately ran up 90 points, but take a look here. If you're trailing your stop relatively close, this pullback right here, it's going to take you out. That's why I am more focused on this than this. There may be some folks that, were trailing at a distance that allowed that to happen, but if you were trailing pretty close, 56 is probably all you got out of it. Soybeans, consider buying 944, ran up 3.5 points at $50 per point. Soybeans pay exactly the same as the S&P, $50 a point, $12.50 a tick, 4 ticks to a point. Bonds, we had no trigger. We were looking to sell 155.04, and we were willing to be buyers at 156.15, but bonds have just been flat. Are they putting in a bottom here? Well, I guess we'll soon find out. As we go to gold, we were looking to sell 12.54. Now the first move down was good for $180 per contract. Back above the trigger. Down we go again. That move. Now we never get out at the swing high or swing low because we trail our stop. So there's always going to be something left on the table. It's important to remember that. So are you going to get all 350? No. When it starts to retrace, you'll get stopped out with some profit. And of course, all the zones that you see on the charts today are last week's zones. Then we get back above the trigger one last time, and here we go. And we had put in this low here represented 500. We're actually probing lower, but again, on this pullback, good chance you'd have been stopped out. And depending upon how this ran, this candle could have stopped you out. So that's the truth about trading. The NQ we already took a peek at. From 57.05. This is really a dramatic move that these tech stocks are making. Question is it another bubble? Are we running into trouble? What's on the horizon? Only time will tell. The last time the NQ topped out for a number of years, no one expected it. A lot of folks were left holding the bag. Is that in the cards here? Again, only time will tell. Okay, so we covered the NQ, covered gold. What do we have left? Crude. Okay. Again, last week's zones, but doing a pretty good job there. Now, let's find 1900. That's right there. Okay. And we are trading the Q contract in crude GCL Q. Consider buying 45.05, which is here. And the swing high, 45.26. So that's 21 points or $210 per contract available. Back below the trigger, and the same move again. On the sell side, 44.70. Which we hit it there and there and went nowhere. This time we hit it. We actually made it down to 55. 15 points. 150. On the Russell, who was it? I think Rich sent me a link, and I don't have the article in front of me, but they published an article about the Russell coming back to the CME. I'll look for that in just a second. We're looking to buy 14.12, and it made it up to 14.19. So that's 7 points at $50 a point. It's 350. And then we were looking to sell 14.07. That never got triggered. And that does it. Thinking John won't make it today. This S&P, it continues. So this is really something to keep an eye on tomorrow morning. We got one more zone left overhead. That's it. Let me see if I can find that article that Rich sent me the link on. Okay, this is dated Friday. For active traders, the return of Emini Russell 2000 index futures and options expands an already broad suite of benchmark U.S. equity index products you can trade at CME Group. This gives you even more ways to tap into the liquidity of small cap stocks. They're actually doing a webinar, so go to the CME. To their website. In fact, for those of you that have an interest, I might be able to give you the... Oh, that's one crazy link. The webinar is June 27th. So that's a ways out. I'll get you a better link than that. I don't know if you want it, but there it is. I suppose it'll function. Okay. All right, guys. I guess that's going to do it for this Monday. Quiet in the training room. Quiet here in Studio A. So let's go ahead and call it a day. All those days that we go over and do 3-4 hours, we'll just call it a day. Happy Monday. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.